What is up, team? This is so exciting to be here. I'm loving this. This is our first podcast, and I'm with one of my good friends, Tracy Ball. Not only a good friend, but a role model. Look up to her. Just killer trader. Can't wait to be here discussing all the different topics that we have, and it deals with new beginner traders. It deals with people that have been trading for a long time. So how are you doing today, Tracy? I love it. Yep, with that, like Johnny Guarco, other master trader we got here at Real Life Trading. So I'll just introduce. Who, Basically, we'll get into who we are, things like that. But I think it's best to introduce real life trading in general at first. So anybody that is brand new to the community, you guys can go to reallifetrading.com. All of the education is absolutely free to learn how to day trade, swing trade, do credit spreads, do option trading, uh, in detail videos in regards to full beginner classes, intermediate, expert, 100% free to you guys. So make sure you guys check that out. But Tracy, tell us a little bit about why what this podcast is specifically, why we're doing this, and what the listeners could look forward to.
Can you hear me now? All right. My goal with this whole thing is that I think trading's easy. Now they can hear me. Yeah. Well, I view trading to be easy. Technically speaking, we could teach anybody how to trade. It's us that gets in the way. It's the fear of missing out. It's all of the other stuff that basically keeps us from succeeding. So that's kind of what this is about. We're not going to be getting into any kind of technical setups or actual trade setups. That's not what this is about. It's about dealing with your fear, dealing with your lack of confidence, going through the obstacles that we've all experienced at one point in our trading or currently going through, and how to get through those. So that's kind of where we're sitting at right now, and that's my vision. How about you? Why'd you agree to do this with me? Yeah.
Am
Okay. Here.
I on mute?
There we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure that out. But yeah, so basically, there was a time in my early stages in my career as far as uh, learning how to trade, and I didn't have anything like this. So there was points where I felt like I was. Some people are saying quiet. Some people are saying I'm still here. Can you
No,
guys
this
hear
is.
me? we have we're having a sound issue today, huh?
Yep.
Type a quick one in that chat if you guys could hear me right now. Just a bit low. I don't know if you're able to turn my volume up, Tracy.
Try now.
Am
Try
I a
now.
little bit louder for you guys? Tracy sounds good. I sound real far away.
Try now.
Am I a little bit louder for you guys? Yes, that works. There we go. We figured it out. All right, look at that. All right, so yeah, so basically, there was a point in my career where I was getting into trading. I was just learning the basics. I started from that now, and as far as actual trading goes, there was points in my career where I was able to. I thought I was getting it. I would be like, yes, I hit a great trade, and then the next day I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And it was just a constant battle with myself. And really only after I joined the real life trading community, I found out, wait, there's actually more people like me. I'm not the only one trading the way I do. It's just you learn little pieces of the market every single day, and then you work to kind of mold and blend it all together. So this way, this way we're able to take that and be able to see the full picture of things, and that's why I'm on this podcast with you, Tracy, just to let people know what to expect trading, what difficulties you're going to face, and how to kind of overcome those obstacles.
Yeah, that all sounds really good. Now, Dan, what got you into trading? Why did you decide to become a day trader?
Yeah, that's a good question. So with why I started, I've always had some kind of interest in the market. I've seen all the movies, and people drive around in the sports cars, and they're on all the tropical islands and private jets. And that was my initial thought of what trading was. And I was like, all right, well, I think that I want to do that too. So I had some interest in getting into the market. That was my younger childhood self thinking that, you just put your money in and you just make a ton of money, and all of a sudden you sell out. So and you just buy that private yacht and private jet, and that's just your life. So to me, all the movies, everything just made it seem so easy. But I wanted to get into it and just basically just give it a try and just kind of figure it out. And what about you, Tracy?
Well, for me, it was. I mean, anybody that's watched my interview with Jerremy knows that I had some medical issues that got me out of work, and my husband actually told me, "Hey, you'll be good at day trading." And I started to learn during the Bitcoin craze, and fortunately for me, I ran into real life trading right off early in my career, which probably makes me one of the very few people on the planet that have never blown out an account. So I owe that to real life trading, and from that, I just want to keep passing it forward and teaching people how to safely maneuver these waters, right? So that's basically my story. Now, do you primarily trade stocks or options, or a little bit of both? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, 100%.
100%, yeah.
Basically, when I got started, I started with doing just regular stocks because that's all I knew. I didn't even know options were out there. And I was doing okay. And I got frustrated with I was always decent at like picking spots of stocks. Mm-hmm. And then my holding muscle was horrible. And then I was like, I had a small account. So anything I was making, it was not yacht money. So basically what I did, I was like, all right, well, let me sell out. I made $50 here, $100 here, and then get into another trade. And then somebody introduced me to options, and that's where I started just getting crazy with options and started to learn a little bit more about those. And I must say I did have a fun time trading options. But so I mainly, and after I learned, hey, it's much easier just to blow up your account with options. Then I went back to stocks, and then I just slowly got back into options. So I do both. But I feel like I have a better crutch with both stocks and options now that I have a better education. So it's like building a house. You do it one brick at a time. For me, and I think a lot of the traders I talk to, they just jump in heavy and just try to figure it out as they go without any foundation to the house, and it just comes tumbling down eventually. So I do trade both now. And are you doing primarily stocks, or are you doing options as well?
I do stocks mostly, and I'm learning options. I'm getting better at options, doing them more. But you hit it on the head right there with building a foundation. And I think that is key to becoming a successful anything, is to get that good foundation in ahead of time. And it takes time to build each and every one of those bricks one by one. And for those guys that get out there and they just want to throw in some dirt and build a house really quickly, I promise you it's going to sink at some point and it's going to fail. And that's why we're here right now doing this, is to help build those individual bricks one by one and get a house of stone that is going to last for an eternity. So, but you still there?
Yeah, no, awesome point. And Edward Lynn in the chat, he had a great point, a great question. He said, how long would it take? Would you say it took either of us to build a foundation? I know for me, I'm still building the foundation, right? So the foundation, I mean, I want to build a big house. If you want to build a small house, your foundation it's not going to take as long. So I want a bigger house, therefore I'll need a bigger foundation. So I'm constantly learning, constantly navigating the markets, finding out new things, learning from both obviously Jerremy, from Matt DeLong, from the other moderators, from the traders themselves, different strategies, different techniques. There could be other stocks out there that I had no idea existed, and just kind of build one block at a time. But yeah, the more foundation for me, the more education I put in, just the bigger house that I'm going to have to live in later. What about you, for you, Tracy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a continued journey for both of us, as it will be for all of you. But the foundation for me, I would say that it takes probably a good 6 months to a year to get a decent foundation laid, or even a foundation plan laid. And it depends on how much you put into it, right? Just like in the real world, if you were to go build an actual foundation and you only work 2 hours a day, it's going to take you a lot longer than somebody that goes and they give it their all, and they're putting a good 8 to 10 hours in every single day, digging the dirt up and building each of those bricks. So like I said, you get what you put in, and that's my motto: you get what you put in. So it's going to be different for everybody and what you try and learn. But I can tell you one thing right now, that focusing on little bits one at a time and making it autonomous before moving on to new stuff is probably the fastest way to learning and the most successful. You don't get, that kind of overloading of information, and all of a sudden it starts to kind of puzzle together and confuse you, and you don't know what's going on, and then all of a sudden you have to take a step back to try and remember what was it that I learned before. So learning too much can be a devastation to your learning curve and your progress in the future, and that's kind of why I try and recommend that people, slow it down, take it bit by bit. Just like when you're learning how to drive, it took you a while for a lot of the basic stuff to become autonomous, and you weren't thinking about it anymore. It became automatic, and that's kind of how you want to get your trading. A lot of the basics, you want it to become automatic, and the rest you can start building on from there. Then you become a race car driver. So what would you say, Dan, has been the biggest struggle as a trader for you in your entire career? The biggest struggle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good question. So I think just as it you need the bricks to build the foundation, you also need the bricks to build a wall. And I would just run into walls all the time. I don't even know honestly where to start of which one was the hardest one to overcome. I would say if I had to choose, it wasn't even the pattern setup. It wasn't even understanding the risk to reward. For me, it was really getting out of my own head of that dream that people sell to you of you could be a millionaire in day one. You could take $500 and you could turn it into $100,000 within 2 weeks. And you could. I mean, it's possible. There's ways to do it. It's just not a likely story. It's. I mean, somebody has to win the lottery every month because they run the lottery, but it's really hard to do it. So once I got it out of my head, like you can still be a millionaire. You can still have exactly what you need from the market. It will provide that for you. But for me, it was just getting out of my head of just overly aggressively trading, trying to hit that big play. Right. And there was a couple times I hit good plays. I've hit nice plays before, and that was good. But a lot of times what happens is after you hit those plays, all of a sudden that you try to do it again and you repeat that process. And I mean, you're just doubling down on lightning striking twice. So for me, it was honestly, it was more mentality for me than even more of the trading. All of the education. I mean, as I was learning, as I was kind of developing as a trader, I was able to kind of understand it pretty easily as far as and even I would look at some kind of reversal signals. Like I'd see a hammer, and then I was the hammer trader, and I was looking for just hammers in the market, and I was taking every single one. And then I learned like the Elliott wave theory. And I'm like, oh, all right, so let's wait for this. But then I wasn't looking for the hammers. So I put both together, and then I was trying to like really maneuver like where the stock could actually go to. How do I find the support? How do I find the resistance? And then that's where I was able to. The name of the podcast is Pivot. That's where I was able to pivot. Is when I put it all together, and then on top of that, being realistic with my trades, being able to use the R system, and we'll do an entire podcast. This is the first one, but we'll do one on the. In the future on the R system for you guys not familiar. We'll also do podcasts on different setups and different topics like that as well. But so I don't want to get into it too much right now on the first podcast. But yeah, that for me is just, honestly, it was my own head that I had to escape to get back to reality of what trading actually is. And once I was able to just take a breath and say a little goose fraba and just relax a little bit, I was able to kind of then start taking what I've learned and using it appropriately.
Yeah.
What about for you, Tracy?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, hitting for that fence, that home run, that's probably a challenge that most traders experience at one point. For me, though, my biggest problem was I was playing not to lose. That was probably the biggest issue. I didn't want to lose, and because you don't want to lose, you never win. You're playing defense all the time, and it's really hard to hit those plays out of the park when you're always on defense. And it was kind of an epiphany at one point where I was just thinking about sports and recognizing that on a team, in order for you to be successful, you need to have a good defense and a good offense. And you could have a great defense and you'll never win a game, but you'll never lose it, or you'll never lose a game, but you'll never win a game. It's the guys that have a good balance between defense and offense. They go out and they can just kill it, and they've got that good offensive line that gets in there. They score the goals, but they also have a defense that plays well. And the minute that I got that, I was no longer afraid to place my trades. I would let my stop just stay where it is. I'd let things work out. I was much more patient. I would move my stop kind of when I needed to. I was no longer waiting till, okay, I'm profitable, and move my stop to break even, and then it gets wicked out, turns around and runs and takes off and hits the moon, but I'm out of the trade because, hey, I was scared and I didn't want to lose any money. So I succeeded at that, but I didn't succeed at the winning part, right? So that was probably the biggest problem for me, and that's how I overcame it. Is recognizing that issue. So, but now, if you could give basically, Dan, one piece of advice to an up and coming new trader or an aspiring trader, what would it be?
This is a good question. So basically, I mean, I think it's actually a two-part answer for me. Relatively into the same kind of realm and aspect of things as well. So the first one would be, don't blow up your account. Right. And I think I feel like most traders have, which is okay. I mean, learning if it's a small account and you're just trying to build and learn, try to use the fundamentals in some sense, in some weird way, it's okay to blow up your account. You're going to make more money eventually. But I think that if you're going in with a heavy size account and you're trying to trade and you're just trading sporadically around and just trying to figure out what to do, which is all part of the process. But if you blow up the account, you don't have tickets to the next show. So you have to be in the game. And then that's the other part of it is once you hit that point of frustration, once you're taking trade after trade, and no matter what you do, you have that feeling there's somebody else on the side of the computer just watching your trades, and you're buying, and they're like, gotcha, and then they sell immediately, and then they take their profit, which is just really your money at the end of the day. So you have to stay with it, right? You have to just, after you take those bad trades, you're going to the best thing to do is just take a breath after it, take a few minutes before your next trade. Even if you're new, I mean, 1 trade a day, 2 trade a days. You don't have to go crazy, but just go back to the chart, see what you missed, see why the trade might have went against you. Was that the best time to get into it? So just honestly stay in the game, and the longer you're in the game, the more likely you are to succeed. And that's the one thing that I learned, and I would tell every single trader, just make sure that you're able to show up to the game to play. Once you're in it, I mean, it's just a matter of kind of maneuvering, figuring out your own destination, getting through it. So yeah, for me, it's just, you're going to hit. Trading is not just all, I took 500 and made 100,000. There's frustration along the way. There's discipline. There's self-learning involved in trading. So if you're able to withstand that with really take in the lessons that the market are providing you, and you show up every single day ready to go, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but there's progression. And whether you see it in your account dollar value, or you see progression in your trading style, trading method, it's there for you. And as long as you take something out of the market every day, you take something either ours or dollars away from a trade, or you take the lesson and be able to apply it to the next trade, you're going to get better and better, and you're going to be able to know when to bail on trades early. You're going to know when to let them ride a little bit longer, and that will all come and develop. But that's what I would say to new traders. Absolutely. How about yourself? What would you tell a new trader if somebody started today, or started, been trading for even 4 or 5 months?
I think the one thing that I would say is make sure that you have appropriate expectations. I find that most traders that get into the game, their expectations are unrealistic, and that leads to frustration. It leads to quitting. It leads to not giving yourself enough time to actually succeed, and really honestly not putting in even the appropriate preparation to build that foundation we just finished talking about. So the expectations need to be in line with reality, and this is something that is, like I said, easy but hard. The easy part is the technical analysis that you can learn. It takes time to learn it. It's not going to happen overnight, but the emotional part, that variable that's in place, that's what makes it hard. Now, imagine yourself working in an industry, any industry, where the variables are changing all the time. The parameters of your job are changing all the time, because it's not set in stone. It's not the same thing. And trading can be very much like that. The market conditions change. There's a bunch of stuff that even in a lifetime, you are probably not going to see every single market condition that could occur. You're going to get closer to it, but it takes time. So having that expectation appropriately matched with reality is going to help. So I would highly recommend, talking to people that are day traders, people that have experience, and then knowing what you're getting into ahead of time before you make that choice. Don't jump into it. Make it slow. And I highly encourage you all to join Real Life Trading, right? Get a mentor, join the group, pay attention to our free education. I mean, there's all good stuff out there, and be very careful with some of the other things that you might find online, because if it's too good to be true, or it seems too good to be true, it most likely is the case. It's probably too good to be true. You're not going to get rich overnight. What did your mother always say? Nothing comes easy, that kind of thing, right? I can't remember what the cliche word is, but maybe you know. Do you know? Dan?
My mother had different messages from me, so I don't. I think that's what it is. Yeah, the best things in life are something that you work for.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. There's something that you work for. So it just takes time. So I would say expectations. Now, we are going to have a podcast that is going to be talking solely on expectations. Now, I saw another question in the chat here talking about money for the account, and how long you should be paper trading. Again, we're going to get into all of that stuff in the new year. So stay tuned. We can't cover all the questions right now. This today is just an introduction to what the Pivot podcast is about. It's an introduction to who Dan and I are, what this is all about. And before we close anything out, so some of the expectations, or some of the things that you guys can do as listeners that you're going to benefit from or get the most out of this podcast is be here live. That's one thing that you can do. The other thing is that you can send us some questions. So either throw them into YouTube, into the comments here, or the comments after when the video is posted. We're also going to be having a Spotify podcast link. So we'll be sending that out later. We don't have it set up yet, but as soon as we do, we'll have that available, and we're going to be having a landing page as well that you can join or go to, subscribe, whatever. Send in your questions, and we can make sure that they get answered in the next possible podcast that's going to be covering that subject. And when you are live, we're going to have topics for each of these subjects. So the questions that we're going to be handling will be specific to that particular topic. And that's kind of the way we're going to set things up. We're going to try and do a little bit of a chat beforehand, and then leave the last few minutes for our listeners to ask any other questions and get some interaction going on there. How about Dan, do you have any other things that you wanted to say about what our listeners can, or how they can get the best out of this podcast?
So I mean, basically, I think you covered a lot of it. Like I said, this is the, like you said, this is the beginning of the podcast. This is just more the introductory, what we're going to get to. And I'm excited. I mean, because we have our own community of people that we talk to every day, that we're trading live with. They're calling out stocks. The moderators are on the microphone, and they're looking for different possible entries and everything, that we're trading live with them. We get to talk to a lot of guys that pretty much on a daily basis, that some of the members of our community. So I'm excited for this podcast, really just basically to not only speak to them, but to speak to traders. There's a lot more traders out there in the world that, and I mean, it's a blessing that, for me, honestly, it's a blessing that I found real life trading to really help improve my trading, to help me put me on a professional level of trading. And I'm excited to share that, to meet new people, to answer questions. And even if we could, I mean, if we could help somebody from blowing up their account, that's a win. And if we could help somebody from, that wants to get out of their job that they hate, they have to show up to that 9 to 5 every single day. But really they have a strong passion for the market. They just have no idea how to do it. I'm excited to cover a lot of those topics. There was a couple people like, hey, how do I check out some of the free videos? Right in the description, there is a link. You guys can check it out. It says free courses. Again, I mean, real life trading is the reason real life trading exists, is to help enrich lives. So the education's free. There's no paywall from all of the detailed educations. It's not like, hey, here's a setup, and now if you pay me $2,000, I'll teach you how to use it. They're really in detail classes. And then if any guys did want to trade live with us, there's options. And we also have all the mentor groups, which we literally meet with. There's a group of 6 people in there with the mentor we work one-on-one with, that we're able to kind of answer questions that they have, show them different setups. We take team trades together. So it's a lot of fun. But there's definitely options. So if you're looking to learn the market, learn to trade, protect the risk, which is a huge aspect I never even thought about. I was only thinking about the wins for a long time and never what the losses would do. So just all of that stuff together, I'm excited to be able to share that with even many people outside of our community.
Right, absolutely. Now, Dan, you when did you join real life trading?
I joined back in 2018 was when I first, was it 2018 or 2017 that I first joined with real life trading. So I was with them from there. And the reason that I found real life trading, that I searched, is I can tell you the exact trade it was. I took Tesla with some options and I went decently heavy on it, and I made a lot of money very quick. And the next 2 days, I thought I was like, this is the easiest thing in the world. I'm going to keep doing this. And then within 2 days, all that money got wiped out, plus the initial investment. I was like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe I'm doing something a little wrong. So I just Googled like how to actually make money in the market. I went through a couple of videos, and then I found Jerremy Newsome, who is the leader here at Real Life Trading, and was able to go through some of his videos, and I connected with him through the videos. What he was saying made a ton of sense to me, as far as different setups, how to utilize the risk, how not to just get wiped out in a trade. And I thought I kind of knew how to trade before I found the videos, and then I realized, wait, I had the whole picture backwards. So the fact that we're able to kind of further throw that out there as far as new potential setups, new ways to trade to people, just open people's eyes up. Anybody could trade if you have discipline, And if you have the willpower to really go through the education and to learn the setups and everything.
Well, that's awesome. And how long have you been a moderator?
I think we started with moderating for me personally in July. I think was my first month. So I've been on the mic live trading with everybody for about 6 months now.
Well, you're doing a great job, I got to say. And I know a lot of people love having you in the room. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. And thanks for setting up all the good trades. You've been killing it today, too, by the way. I've been watching all your, one after another. It's like, wow, Dan, you're just like a man on a gun here. Just boom, boom, boom. All right, you guys, that's our time for today. Love to see you here next week. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you again. We start again beginning of January. All right, Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy Holidays, and have a great New Year.